Welcome to my channel, Be Perfectly Blended. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back. And if this is your first time, thanks so much for clicking on. In today's video, I am making an apple pie. Here are some apples from my son's apple tree in the backyard. I meant to get video footage of him picking the apples, but I missed it. I didn't get there in time. I also have dishes to handle. I did make biscuits and gravy for breakfast. One of my grandsons is visiting, so I have a lot going on in the living room. But we are going to start with making an apple pie. Thanks so much for joining me. Here, I'm just rinsing these apples. As I mentioned, they come from my son's apple tree in the backyard. So I just did a quick rinse and patted them dry. I would typically use about 7 medium-sized apples when I make an apple pie. I have about 9 here, but some are smaller. Like I said, they're from the backyard. And these apples are kind of both sweet and tart. They're perfect for an apple pie. In a minute, you will see me kind of start bopping back and forth, dancing a little bit. Thumbs up if you have heard of Doggyland on YouTube. It is so funny to me. There I am. I really actually like it from my grandsons. And if you don't know, it's created and produced by Snoop Dogg. So I think it's kind of cool that my generation grew up listening to Snoop Dogg and now he's entertaining our grandchildren. Anyways, I also showed this apple that was whiter inside than the rest of them. I'm not sure what causes that. But now I am slicing my apples. And I do not decore. I don't have like a mechanism that does that. I just cut around the core and then slice my apples. I did go back and make my slices a little bit thinner for the baking process. But yeah, just slicing my apples. Now that I'm finished slicing up my apples, I'll go ahead and show you what else I have. I just have store-bought, if you've watched my last video, store-bought crust. Here is the glass dish I'm using. It's kind of in between a regular pan and a deep dish. And then I love my little Pioneer bowls for my measuring. But I have a cup of sugar, some cinnamon, some water, and then some flour. And then this is my unsalted butter, so I just cut it in half so it's more the size of a regular stick. So I'm going to start with that to make my sauce. So I just put that in a pot and I'm melting it down. I do want to apologize ahead of time. You will hear my whisk in the pan. The butter, obviously, as it's melting. But I just wanted to go over what I have here while it is fresh in my mind. I love using my little Pioneer Women measuring utensils. I'm going to pull this off for just 1 sec while I speak real quick. So this is my little tablespoon that I measure with. And so I basically have a cup of sugar. I have 1/4 cup of water. I have about a tablespoon of cinnamon. That is for later. And then I have some flour because I'm going to start by kind of making a sauce. I know some people do, some people don't. I'm going to start by making a sauce. So I melted the butter down. It was like basically the size of a stick. And then I'm going to add the flour. I'm not going to dump it all because I'm not quite sure exactly how much I need. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in and kind of just make sure you're stirring. That is the main thing. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more. So basically, I put into the stick of butter, I put in 3 tablespoons of flour. So that's what I had in here. And so now, I'm just continuing to stir. And then I'm going to add a cup of sugar and my water, plus 1/4 cup. And just keep stirring. So here's what it's looking like. And I'm just going to keep stirring because you can feel the sugar. It's not all the way, melted in. You can feel it through your whisk. So I'm just going to continue to whisk till it is all the way melted all together. While my sauce is simmering, so I am going back and stirring it periodically, but I do have it on low. I am just over here, as I said before, kind of taking my apple slices and slicing them a little bit thinner. Sliced. And then you take your cinnamon, and you're going to sprinkle it over, and then just kind of mix it all in there together. So all of your apples are covered with your cinnamon. Your sauce is off to the side. We'll put all that in a minute. And it's okay to add a little bit more if you need to, just to make sure all the apples are covered. Say hi! Say hi! No? Okay. Quick pause to throw in the Impossible nuggets and some fries in the air fryer. And so now here is what my sauce is looking like. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 425. And then I'm going to take the sauce and just drizzle it right over the top of the apples. Yum. Smells so good, which I'm going to tell you that here in just a sec. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I did spray my pie pan, and now I'm going to take out my crust, and I am going to take the first sheet and obviously put it in my pie pan. Because my pie dish, is a little bit deeper, I am going to go ahead and try to just give it a little bit of a stretch and pull it slightly over the sides, and then make sure that the bottom is actually going in and touching the bottom of the dish there. So yeah, just working it out. Now I'm just going to take my apple slices with the mixture in the sauce and put it all in, filling up my pie dish. And then just spread it out nicely so it's nice and even. We are going to take our second sheet of crust here, and I'm just putting down some flour on my cutting board so I can just kind of lay it out, stretch it out just a little bit, get it nice and flat. And then I'm just going to cut it into strips, about 1-inch strips, even strips, so that we can make a lattice as the top of our pie. And so I do want to put it out there. I am not great at this at all. I am not a professional. And it does take me, I have to kind of get started and then look and see where I need to maybe fix it a little bit. But here's what it's looking like. You just make your even strips. And then you'll start with the strip in the middle and put it in the middle of the pie. And then add strips on either side, spacing them out. And the amount of strips that you initially put, you should have about that same amount still left. Maybe one less. And then once I've done that, then I will peel back and then kind of go every other one to make it woven. But I have to say this, it does not click in my head right away. So I will start to do it, and then I will see kind of where I need to fix it, or I didn't tuck it under here. So just play with it a little bit like I did. And then once you're happy with your results, then we'll go ahead and tuck in the sides and start to pinch them. But yeah, here, just still kind of figuring it out. So now here I'm pretty much done, pretty much happy with it. So you can take the edges and tuck them in, or you can just take them off or pinch them together. However you do it, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong or just all right way. I just pinch the edges. So here's what it's looking like. And now I'm just gonna Crack an egg and mix some egg white with a little bit of sugar. And go ahead and give my pie crust a little egg wash on top before we put it in. Now you're going to place your pie in the oven. It is on 425. And you're going to place it in there for about 15 minutes. So my grandson and I are hanging out here. He is so tired. Eventually he'll succumb to that. Once the 15 minutes is up, you're going to go ahead and drop the temperature down to 350. Do not open the oven. I'm just going to turn on the light so you can see. And now you're going to just let the pie bake for about 45 more minutes. Hey, my little genius. What are you doing? Yes? Are you reading a book about dinosaurs? Now that we finished lunch and the pie is in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up and picking up the kitchen. I'm going to put the air fryer away. Now that I have so much space under my counter here, I'm going to get that put up and the bowls put up and go ahead and just kind of put everything back where it needs to be and then tend to the dishes here in a minute. Now, I did have these dishes initially soaking over here while I was baking the pie. So now I am just giving them a nice little scrub and rinsing them off and putting them up in the rack here to dry. And then I will come back and actually end up doing a few more dishes. It's like dishes are like laundry, never ending. Now that those dishes are done, I'm going to go ahead and rinse out the sink here and then turn right back around and fill it right back up with warm water, Dawn dish soap, and a splash of bleach, and soak these other dishes here, which is what I use to make the pie. And then also I had a pot from breakfast. Here's what she's looking like. Not quite done yet, but getting close. So, oh, this was so cute. My husband and my grandson over here playing. So while I'm still waiting on the pie, I'm going to go ahead and give my countertops a nice wipe down. I am just using an all-purpose spray and just wiping everything down. It's like I can feel some of the ingredients that got away, little grains of sugar, even underneath my feet. So I will handle my kitchen floor, but that will be later on and in the next video. But as for right now, I'm just going to give everything a nice wipe down. And then I am going to go in with my stainless steel cleaner and handle my appliances, especially my refrigerator has so many fingerprints. So I'm going to start here with my dishwasher, and I'm just giving that a nice wipe down and a little shine. At this point, my timer did go off, so I just turned my oven off. But because I am cleaning my appliances, I didn't want to open it. So I just continued to clean it. And then once I was done, I did open it a little bit to let it cool. But I'm keeping the pie in the oven as I'm finishing. So now I'm over here at my refrigerator. And yeah, I had to give this a good wipe down. Fingerprints just everywhere down on the freezer portion. Well, here she is, all done. Smells so good. She was so delicious. I did take the pie out and let it cool for about an hour. I did put a dish rag, a clean one, over the top of it. Thank you so much for coming along with me today as I baked this pie, got my kitchen together. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. And I hope to see you in the next one.